Hello everyone, I'm back with another episode of Pappy's Kitchen Creations, where I mix spoons with tunes. I'm really excited today because the holiday season is quickly approaching and it's time to start thinking about creating holiday cheer by baking some great tasting desserts. I've even got my festive colors going today. I think we should dedicate this episode to creating a cake, don't you? But not your normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill kind of cake. How about one that's so easy to make and so delicious that it will make your family and friends think you're a total genius? Of course, we won't tell them how easy it was, will we? That's just a secret between you and me. Today I'm going to create Pappy's Pineapple Fluff Surprise Cake using a Betty Crocker yellow cake mix as a base. You can choose which mix you'd like to use, but I'm using this one today. There are only a few ingredients to deal with, and it's one of the best cakes you will ever put into your mouth. I'll guarantee it. It's a real crowd pleaser because it's just as good as it looks. Let's get to it. Here's the recipe to make Pappy's Easy Pineapple Fluff Surprise Cake we'll be using today. Check the comments below for the link to download it. Oh, and while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss any more of these recipes, I'm telling you. So we're about ready to get started. I've got my cup of coffee. I hope you've got something to drink too. Very important to keep hydrated. Someone just gave me something special though. Maybe I can keep a little bit more coffee in this, and we'll see. My grandmother was a total master in the kitchen, especially around the holidays. As a young boy growing up in Central Florida with lots of cousins around me, I remember the wonderful smells and excited looks on all of our faces as we waited impatiently for a taste of Grandma's wonderful desserts. One of my favorites was a pineapple upside down cake, although her banana pudding was pretty hard to beat. I love banana pudding, don't you? But that's for another video. Right now, we're making a cake with pineapples and mandarin oranges. Here's the list of ingredients we will use in today's recipe. Now let's gather all the ingredients on the list and put them in one place. We've got the ingredients. Now we need to collect the tools we will use to build the cake. I started playing an accordion 58 years ago in Florida when I was just 13 years old, and I continued playing all through my high school years. I got really good at it and was playing at an advanced level by my senior year. I was even making money playing at hotel parties on St. Petersburg Beach. I met my future wife while playing the accordion. She played one too. After high school, I entered the Army for 3 years because of the Vietnam War and married my high school sweetheart. When I separated from the service, life just took over. My wife and I started a family, and we put our accordions in storage. We didn't open the case again until just over 7 months ago. Our accordion cases had been shut for 50 years. Unfortunately, my accordion didn't make it through the years. My wife's accordion, however, was a different story altogether. It's still in great shape and made it through the years just fine. I started practicing with it and decided to try and bring back some of the music magic of those early years. My mind is willing, but my fingers sure are pitching a fit. Time will tell if I'm successful, and you can watch my progress on these videos and join me on my journey. But for now, I practice, practice, practice. Before we get back to cooking our cake, here's a little tango tune I'm working on called Tanguito, or Little Tango. What's a tango, you ask? Well, the tango is a dance originally from Argentina, and the dance is said to penetrate the very depths of the soul and is a fantastic grand ballroom dance. Tanguito is an original song by Miriam Mies, a Belgian musician who is a music teacher, composer, and arranger. Do you have anyone in your family that plays the accordion? Let me know in the comments below. It's a difficult instrument to play, but it's a lot of fun too. Well, that was fun, but Siri tells me it's time to start on the Pineapple Fluff Surprise Cake. Hey Siri, turn off the alarm.
Okay, your alarms are off.
That took a while. Okay, are you ready to get started now? I sure am. I can't wait to get a taste of the cake. I'm using two 9-inch round pans today to create the tiered cake, but you can also make this cake in a square or rectangular pan as a single layer cake. That works just as well. Either one will be wonderfully delicious, and my recipe shows the directions for both. Here's step number 1. And now for the fun part. I have the cake mix, the eggs, and the butter. First, crack the eggs. I don't know about you, but I'm heavy-handed and usually get a little shell when I crack eggs. My wife told me just to crack them in a separate bowl in case I got shell in them. That's just genius. That way, I don't have to try to pull the shell out of the mixture later. I just crack the eggs in a bowl and check for yucky shells. Nope, there's none in there. Now we can make the dry cake mix with the 3 eggs and 1/3 cup softened butter. The butter can be measured a couple of ways. The easiest is to use the markings on the side of the stick of the butter, right here. Or you can use tub butter. That just makes it a little easier, as long as it doesn't contain the spread that isn't really butter. Now take your cake mix, your 3 cracked eggs, and butter, and mix them up. I'm going to use a KitchenAid mixer, but you could use a hand mixer, or just mix it all up in a bowl with a whisk, or even a spoon. Step 2. Add the can of mandarin oranges with the mandarin juice. Mix well. We have a little prep work to do before we can fill the pans with our cake. We want to make it so the cake doesn't stick to the pans. We need to line the bottom of the pans with a non-stick substance and some wax paper. Start by placing a pan on a piece of wax paper and draw an outline around the bottom of the pan. Cut the circle you drew out of the wax paper and discard the trimmings. Coat the pan with Crisco shortening or with Pam baking spray, as I'm doing here. Make sure you spread the coating around the inside of the pan as well as the sides. Spread it out well. And yes, your hands will get greasy. Now place the round piece of wax paper on the bottom of the pan. Well done! Just one more pan to go. I'll coat the second pan with Crisco shortening as sort of an experiment to see which coating keeps the cake from sticking to the pan the best. We'll find out the result when they are done. This is where we fill the two pans. Remember, you could make rectangular pans or square pans if you want to, but in our case, I'm making a tier cake. So we're going to fill both of these pans up. I'm going to take about half the mixture, hopefully, and pour it into one. And before I get carried away here, I'm going to take the other half, calibrated of course, and I'm going to pour it in here and just kind of eyeball it, make sure I've got about the same amount of mixture in both. Looks pretty good. Looks like I need to put a little bit more in this pan over here. There we go. Yeah, that's looking good. And of course you want all this good stuff in here. This is the good stuff. We want to make sure that we get it all, as much as we can, into the pans. There we go. Okay, that's really looking good. Even got some splattered on my face. It's time to put our pineapple fluff cakes into the oven. But don't do it without these. I learned a long time ago that burns really hurt. And it takes a while for you to get over a burn. So put you something on so that you don't get burned when you put things in and out of the oven. So here we go. We're going to put it in the middle rack. We're set at 325 degrees already. We're going to put both of them in the middle rack. And in about centered, as best as we can center them. Then we're going to close it up and let it bake. Remember, our bake time is on the recipe that you downloaded. Bake time for the 13 by 9 flat pan is 30 to 35 minutes. Bake time for two 8-inch round pans is 30 to 35 minutes. Bake time for two 9-inch round pans, the ones we're using today, is 25 to 30 minutes. In about 20 minutes, we're going to check for moisture. But until then, hey Siri, set an alarm for 20 minutes, please.
Your alarm is set for 3:12 p.m.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're getting ready to test the cake. Remember the toothpick idea? That's what we're going to use today. So let's pull it out of the oven just a little smidge here. Put the toothpick in all the way, pull it back out. And if you have anything on it, and it doesn't, So we're done. All right, so we're going to let them cool now. Pull them out of the oven. Put them on something to cool. Close the oven back up. Don't want to get burned. And then we turn the oven off. Don't want to forget that. Electricity. And we'll let it cool. And we're going to put them on the racks. They're slightly cooled. And I'm going to take the flattest one and I'm going to put it on the bottom. That looks to be right here. Looks to be the flattest one. So I'm going to take this pan, this cake plate here, and I'm going to put it on top like this. Shake it out. And it comes out. Very nice. And we have the wax paper on the top here that needs to come off. And we're going to pull it off, and look at that. It just pulls right off. Beautiful. I'm going to throw this away. And I really don't need this glove anymore because everything's cooled down to the point where I won't get burned. I'll just put the top on this for the time being, just to set it aside. So I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to put it on the rack also. So remember, the pineapples have to be fully drained. And fully, I mean fully. We're going to put them in a colander and we're going to drain them out for a few minutes. And then the juice you can drink if you want to. Now that our pineapples are completely dry, and we took a few minutes to do that, we're going to take the French vanilla pudding, the Cool Whip, and add it all together to form the icing. So let's do that. Take our pineapple, throw it in to mix it up. Ooh, pineapple juice. We'll have a place for that later. That'll be good to drink. All right, half of this Cool Whip. This Cool Whip is a 16 ounce, and the recipe calls for 8 ounces, so I'm going to take about a half. I always get more because you never know when you need Cool Whip. So I'm going to take about half of this, try not to make too much of a mess. And according to my educated guess, that looks like about half. Then we come down here and we take our Jell-O, our French vanilla mixture. Of course, I got to smell it first. Ooh, that smells so good. And we're going to drop it in. Just like that. So we have our mixture here. And instead of mixing it up here, I'm going to take it over to the mixer and mix it up there. But you know what? That looks good enough to eat, but I'm not. So I'm going to take it over to the mixer and mix it up over there. I'll catch you over there in a second. So I'm over here at the mixer now, and we're just going to drop it down and turn it on slow. Here. Just to mix it. Be careful you don't turn it on too high. You'll get mixture all over you. Remember earlier when I coated one pan with pan baking spray and the other pan with Crisco? Well, there was no difference between the two. Both cakes came out beautifully without sticking to the pan. Here's Pappy's tip of the day. Don't overcook your cake. Because we tested ours a few minutes early, we caught it just as it was done. It's perfect and not dried out at all. Oh, by the way, cooking does not have to be stressful, especially if you clean up as you go. Huh? Now you can sit back and enjoy this delicious pineapple fluff cake with your family or friends. Believe me, you will be the hero of the day. I'm getting ready to cut a slice and eat it on the back porch with a cup of coffee. Bye for now. Join me next time on Pappy's Kitchen Creations when we will make easy and delicious roast beef and vegetables. But for right now, I'm cutting a piece of this delicious cake and heading outside. Got my coffee. It's time to enjoy the results of my labor.